Alright guys, this is just a little teeny bit of a review for Modern Warfare 2. If you didn't know, it's a small game. It's not that big. Modern Warfare 2, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, COD 6, or MW2, however you put it, most people, nearly 8 million of them, will know what the hell you're babbling your little ruddy mouth on about. It's the most anticipated game of 2009. Everybody knows about it, so shut up and listen to my opinions. If you played Call of Duty 4 before this game, you'll know what is going on in this. The Middle East and Russia went all doolally, and the American and British tried to help but failed or succeeded, however you want to put it. Basically, to sum it up, a nuke went off and the British found the wrong terrorist, and then some bloke called Soap decided to make himself useful by saving the world and shooting a one-armed Russian. Modern Warfare 2 helps anyone who has trouble remembering the story, e.g. me, with a 10-minute slideshow of sorts when you boot up the campaign mode. How handy. This time around, you'll find yourselves in the boots of Gary, Roach, Sanderson, Allen and Ramirez. But to be honest, Call of Duty 4 and Modern Warfare 2 have done a rubbish job of actually letting me come close to the actual American playable characters. Maybe me prefer the bland soldiers around them. America, the actual country, the whole thing, actually plays a bigger role than the actual characters, to be honest. Watching the country crumble in its time of need and then attempt to rise up against the enemy is much more fun than watching the actual soldiers do it. On the other side, you have the super adventures of Captain Soap and Roach happening at the same time. It's bloody fantastic to see Soap in proper action he should be in, instead of on the floor in a black and white screen with a quote that you've just seen for the 6th time. From being held up by a whole army to jumping from roof to roof to a helicopter. It might be because I am actually British myself, that I feel more of an attachment to Roach and crew. Roach never speaks, but it's how the group reacts towards him, and the little scripted scenes where you see him leap for a cliff and just miss or run through the streets of a Brazilian town to get to a helicopter that is waiting for him. Everyone cares for Roach, and you and Roach care for them too. Even the minor character, Ghost, is enjoyable to hear over the comms. Bloody Yanks thought they were the good guys. But what got me thinking when I heard Ghost is to see him in action is that Gaz? Anyone who played Call of Duty 4 will understand what I mean. The story is solid and fits in nicely into the 6-hour campaign. Though that might not sound impressive, once you see what they packed into it, you'll sit back and go, I want to do that again. Missions are the standard you'd find in any Call of Duty, whether it is being escorting a tank, blowing up something with C4, or defending a point. You'll understand from get-go. Even shooting is exactly the same, but what makes it so great is that they've already perfected it and no longer can be improved, which is why Infinity Ward have now jammed it with so holy shit on a stick moments into the campaign. It's like COD 4 on steroids. I still feel the British sides of the missions are far more enjoyable and tend to vary in style, sneak or going guns blazing. The American missions seem to fit their taste quite well, really. Blow stuff up and clear several rooms while dramatic and patriotic music blares on in the background. Multiplayer is still deep as a bottomless hole and hasn't changed much really. The only additions I can see that are added are kill streaks, kill streak chooser and death streaks. Also the rather unexpectedly good third person mode. I can't say much about it other than it's still as brilliant as it was last time. Grenades still have that tick tick sound even though they bounce against mud. Everything is intact and how you expect it to be. Kill streaks are more fleshed out now. But you can choose which ones you would like to enjoy. Supply airdrops or AC-130s, helicopters or a nuke that will in fact end the game. Even if you are 3 minutes in, it will end, because no one survives a nuke, not even the never-ending army in multiplayer. Perks are far better too, with them being able to upgrade to a far superior version of a superior version being an option. And the added death streaks let new players have a chance of getting back to their last killer. Special Ops is probably the worst and best part of the game's package. I say this because it seems tacked on, but it's also a hell of a lot of fun to play. People wanted a new Nazi zombies, especially the Muppets who think Infinity Ward and Treyarch are the same thing. So this was possibly created to compensate for the non-cooperative campaign or Nazi zombie clone. I prefer the zombies, but this is fun in its own way. But it also seems very lazy. The missions are in the campaign levels, and it's just with the ally NPCs taken away. In this mode you complete various situations such as survive several waves of enemies, or, now come to think of it, most of the missions are pretty much the same structure. Survive the enemy onslaught, don't die, shoot as many guys as you can, even the sneaky sniper missions, if you screw up, grabbing an AK-47, slaughtering the lot of them. It's nice to have, but unless the DLC add-ons for them turn up soon, I doubt I'll go back after I'm done with them. Overall, the game is a solid package with thrills in the single player, excitement in the multiplayer, and mixed feelings in the Spec Ops. I just can't help but feel that the campaign left a huge hole to be filled by, hopefully, Modern Warfare 3. I recommend the game to anyone who's a fan of FPS games and a fan of multiplayer. This game will keep you going for ages. Just a side note that I wrote in the bottom end of the review that I'd like to just share. Just think of it more literacy. You know, when you read a book, it's a book. Or you see a movie, it's a movie. You don't care. It's a movie. You don't care. It doesn't make any difference to you. So just think of it in a more philosophical sense. Makarov, the main villain this time around, and his airport mission have caused a lot of controversy. Apart from the civilian massacre, he has brought up a couple of arguments on several websites of whether or not he and the mission actually have an importance. In my eyes, it does. Makarov is made out to be this major terrorist that'll kill you on sight and whatnot. This cannot be portrayed by simple slideshows as it was with COD 4's Zakhaev. Infinity